welcome to Show Em The Dore. We're back, better than ever, for some post-spring break action.
Yes.
Yeah, action. Welcome to Show Em The Dore, the only podcast where Chris, after every episode, would say, "Why did you say Show Em The Dore podcast?" You complained that I said the word podcast in our podcast. I feel it's necessary.
I mean, I don't know. I feel like it's very clear we're a podcast. I feel like you just welcome to Show Them the Door. You know, I feel like our audience knows who we are.
I said welcome to Show Em The Dore podcast. I feel like it's more of a vlog now that most of our viewership is on YouTube.
we're vlogging.
Welcome to Show Em The Dore vlog.
I feel like to vlog, we'd have to be like walking through an area though. Like it'd be like, oh yeah,
is
guys.
Movement a necessity?
I feel like it's video blogging. Like what's going on. So I think with that being said, I don't think this can be considered a vlog, rather a maybe closer to a video essay.
That sounds like it's gonna be graded. Like Emma Sandoz is gonna be like, he stuttered 10 points off.
Yeah, it's gonna be like, man, you yawned 8 times.
All over again.
My mom's sitting there grading in the background, like, 10 minus 10, yawned. She's gonna be like, are you tired? And I'm like, yeah, I mean, it's been a long day. And she's gonna be like, well, don't yawn on the pod.
We love constructive criticism.
No, but she's entirely right. But with that being said, we're excited to be back.
So true.
I know that we missed you guys last week when we were on spring break, and there has been a significant amount of stuff that has happened.
Yes, stuff.
Stuff that includes the men's SEC tournament run.
Yes.
So today we have, we'll just categorize things. We're going to start with baseball. In baseball, we have the Hawaii games. And in the Hawaii, we went to Hawaii. We had a 4-game series versus Hawaii. Spoiler alert, we won all 4 games. And then we came back next week and we beat up on Wagner. And then we had a midweek game versus Michigan. And we'll also briefly preview Missouri games.
Yep. And then after that, we will get into some men's basketball that we alluded to, the SEC tournament, the outcome of that, and the NIT birth and win. So we got some big stuff within sports. The women play again tonight, so we're not going to talk about any games as there haven't been any since then. But we will preview tonight's game, which will be happening like the same time that this episode is posted. If you're watching this, they've probably already played by now. If you're reading this, it's too late. Like Drake.
True.
So
starting with baseball. Do you want me to go through baseball?
Yeah.
Did you watch any of the games?
No.
Okay, so apparently I'm the baseball man now. Willem's moving to basketball.
I've been basketball.
You've been women's basketball.
I'm a woman. That explains a lot.
That explains many things. But starting with baseball, so we went to Hawaii, and we've been kind of messing with our pitching rotation. You know, we've had McIlvain starting every single week.
Messing as in tweaking, not messing as in like, oh, we've thrown it off. Messing in a positive connotation.
I'll just use the word tweaking from now on.
There you go.
We've been tweaking our starting pitching. Friday, it's always been kind of cemented as Chris McIlvain, who's actually pitched really well for us. And I have no complaints with him even a little bit. And then we have Carter Holton starting on Saturdays at this point, who is a freshman lefty phenom. Man,
he's that guy.
Crazy.
He's that guy.
He'll strike out like the first 7 batters. In the last 2 starts he's had, he hasn't allowed a hit until the 6th inning that he's pitched. Yeah. Man's crazy.
He's that guy.
I maybe this is a little early, but I feel like on Saturday when Carter Holton pitches versus Missouri, it will be a no-hitter. I kind of believe it.
Whole game no-hitter or like?
I think it will at least be 7 innings, but I wouldn't be surprised if it was the whole game. I don't know if we'd keep him in the whole game, even if he had a no-hitter.
That's what I'm saying. You have a no-hitter through 7. A bit of me says pitch the whole game just to see if you can do it.
But I don't want to.
But it's like
I don't want to ruin his arm early.
That's it.
Like
exactly.
we did that with Jack a little bit last year, where granted Jack was extremely more. First of all, a much higher touted prospect, and 2, he was more experience in general.
Yeah.
But I think Carter Holton legitimately is a really, really good pitcher in the SEC.
Yeah. Is he more speed, control? Describe his game.
Carter Holton is everything. He is Jack Leiter 2, in my opinion. Only he's a lefty, which is arguably more
better, yeah.
But, okay, let me rephrase. Jack, what made Jack great is he had 5 pitches he could control, and his fastball was like 102 whenever it was like really on. Carter Holton will not have that velocity.
No.
He will have like a 95 mile per hour fastball, but man's slider is crazy. It will be the most out of the zone. If I'm a right-hand batter, it looks to me like it is the most outside at your forehead pitch, and then it will just drop right perfectly in the middle of the zone. It is a beautiful pitch, and he'll do it until he proves that you'll swing at it, because he just locks up batters so often. And it takes people through the third time of the batting order to even remotely feel like they're comfortable swinging the bat.
Yeah.
He mixes his pitches really well, and part of that can be attributed to Scott Brown, who's our pitching coach.
Oh, he's that guy. I love Scott Brown.
We're using our watches this year, and so signals are really, really confidential, and I will say Scott Brown has done a really great job. Have you not known that?
No.
So we don't have, the catcher will never say a single sign this year. It's all done through electronic watches.
That's incredible. That's the next step in baseball, man.
Yeah, some people don't like it. They're like, it's not baseball. And
it's kind of not, but it's the next step in baseball.
I don't think it's a big deal.
It's not traditional baseball, but it's still the sport of baseball, and it's a newer addition to it.
I don't really see a problem.
I'm all for progression in baseball.
I do not see an issue with it.
Neither do I. I think it's
some people are like,
for the sport.
they should be like, they were like saying we should be punished, even though it's entirely legal by the NCAA.
The Astros punching air right now.
Yeah, the Astros are like, well, no, because the thing is it's just made so that we can make sure our signs are good. It's just to show that nobody can steal our signs. Like, even if you have somebody standing on second, nobody can steal.
The Astros punching air.
They're like, oh,
how are we gonna win?
But also, what I really like about Carter Holton, man is fast. Man, we have a 20-second, like, it's like a shot clock. You have to have 20 seconds between when you get the ball back to when you make a move, whether that's throw it to first base or pitch the ball or something like that. And I will say Carter Holton gets the ball, and as soon as the batter is ready, he's pitching. It is not he's up there playing mind games. He will pitch 3 pitches in 30 seconds.
Jeez.
Like, it is that guy. He's just fast. He's not trying to give you any time to time him up or think about what just happened.
He gets on the mound.
He gets on the mound. He's like, all right, up here. Bang, 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 bang. And the thing is he'll have like 12 pitch innings, and you'll be like, oh, he must have gotten helped out by a ground ball. And no, he's just thrown 3 people 3 straight pitches of strikes and thrown a 1 ball in there to see if anybody would chase. Like, and it's like an intentional ball. Some people
it's not control.
Yeah. Some people have a lack of control early in the games. Not Carter Holton. I could talk about Carter Holton forever.
Jeez, he's simply that guy.
He is simply that guy. So where I have some worry is our Sunday pitching, because we started off with Nick Maldonado actually being our Saturday pitcher, and then he got moved to our Sunday pitcher. And then he actually had an okay game versus Hawaii, in fairness, but it's not Maldonado. It's not like, and when Maldo was a reliever last year, he was the third best reliever in all of baseball.
Yeah.
Behind Kevin Kopps, who was just going crazy last year, and Landon Sims from Mississippi State. Which are 2 amazing pitchers, by the way. Like, I'm not trying to disrespect Maldo by any stretch. But Maldo as a starting pitcher has not been great. He's been very mediocre. And I think that we have pitching that could do his job arguably better. That if Maldo was still this amazing closer, would overall improve our team.
Yeah, one of the big differences, this is one of my little bits of baseball knowledge because I've played enough of MLB The Show that they've said this. One of the big differences between starting pitchers and relieving pitchers is momentum. Mm-hmm. Relieving pitchers, and what Maldo is incredible at, is riding positive momentum they have, or just getting rid of any negative momentum going against you. Because he'll go up there, and if they're on a roll and he's in now, he'll just keep on going. but he can't start from the beginning and then create
the
start to a game like that.
I've heard that as well from Maldo. I think it's also because Maldo, when he was a reliever, had about 3 good pitches.
Oh, you need a bigger bag than that to start.
And he's tried to expand his bag, and it's...
What has he tried to throw in?
He's tried to throw in... so Maldo's best pitch is his cutter. Maldo, when he was a reliever, had a slider, a cutter, and a fastball. And I think he's trying to add like a curve and a changeup or something like that.
Those are tough.
And I just think it's overall hurting his game.
Yeah.
And I understand why he's doing it. It gets him a better market for the MLB draft. But I also think he's kind of tanking his value by not being a good starting pitcher.
Yeah, that's it.
And actually, during this Wagner series on Sunday, we had Hunter Owen starting on Sunday. Maldo didn't pitch the entire weekend.
That's crazy. Not even close?
No.
Wow.
I think they gave him the week off trying to get his head right.
That does make sense.
And we did that with Jack last year.
Yeah.
We gave Jack a week off whenever he was going through it, but granted, that was mid-season.
That's also Jack Leiter.
Yeah, it's also Jack Leiter, the number 2 pick in the MLB draft. But, I think that if Maldo gets his head right and he can work on those pitches and actually do well, I think that he could be a starting pitcher, and I was excited for him to be. But I'm also not mad if we leave it up to Hunter Owen or even Devin Futrell to pitch on Sundays. We have a lot of pitching. We almost have a problem by having too many pitchers that could start.
Yeah.
In my opinion, McIlvaine and Carter Holton locked, right? I think that I would put Devin Futrell on Sundays. I think Hunter Owen's good, but I think Devin Futrell is better.
Yeah.
He is normally our midweek starter right now, and he had a great midweek game versus Michigan.
Yep.
I would not be mad with him on Sundays. And then having Christian Little be a midweek. Even I think Christian Little could start on Sundays theoretically. The thing is with Christian Little is his stuff is so dirty that nobody swings in anything, and then he pitches a lot of intentional balls that he thinks he'll get swing and miss on. That's what I've identified as his problem.
He's too good at getting it out of the zone, so they know better.
Yeah, it's
not in a way where it's like Carter Holton, where it's that's
out and then it goes back in.
Mind bending into the zone.
No.
This is the opposite. It's that looks like it's in the zone, but knowing this guy, it's gonna go out. Don't swing.
Yeah, I think that if he established his fastball early, I would expect him to have better innings, and he's had more success this year. But I think that we're set up really well for series like regionals and Omaha, because we have so many pitchers that could just give you 3-4 great innings. We have the 2 great starters, and then we have a couple relievers to get through Friday and Saturday. But then if you look at the other games that we'd have to play, we have Hunter Owen who gives you 4. We have Christian Little who gives you 3. We have Devin Futrell who gives you 4. And that's not even talking about Jack Anderson, who's been amazing as a reliever. Yeah. Thomas Schultz, who's been really good. We've had so many guys. Donye Evans put up a couple good innings the other day. We have a wealth. Where last year we didn't have a great bullpen and we had great pitching in Kumar and Jack.
Exact opposite.
But I would put Carter Holton. I think by the end of the season, Carter Holton will be doing exactly what Jack Leiter did all last season on Saturday.
Good Lord.
I'm not joking. I think Carter Holton is legitimately that good. I think I think looking at our pitchers right now, I would put Carter Holton on Friday because he's just that guy.
To put it this way, to show the greatness, would you rather have last year's pitching or this year's pitching?
Last year's.
Last year's? Because of the pure strength in the starting 2? You
can't replace Kumar and Jack. But the fact that we lost Kumar and Jack and still have, in my opinion, one of the top pitching crews in the nation with a lot of potential going forward. Yep. We're going to have Carter Holton for the next 2 years after this year. He's locked in until his junior year because of how baseball works. Mm-hmm. So we're going to have him. He will be an absolute star first-round pick, assuming he doesn't get hurt. Inshallah.
Inshallah.
Devin Futrell will be a weekend starter next year, if not this year.
Yeah, and he's got another year after that, I think.
Yeah, he's young. I'm not worried about our pitching moving forward. The thing is with with the offense that we have this year, and the people that we could theoretically lose this year, which is I guess just Dom and Spencer. Is Spencer draft eligible? I think.
Yeah.
Other than those two, and we'd lose Javi, I think.
Oh yeah.
But no, I don't think we will because nobody's gonna take Javi because he's too small.
I love Javi.
And we'll lose Tate too.
Those are some keys. But we have guys like Gavin Casas.
Yeah, who is a good first baseman.
We have guys like Diaz. We have guys like...
Davis Diaz is legitimately so good.
Yeah.
I think Davis Diaz is one of the top 5 players on our team that aren't pitchers. Like it's hard to judge pitchers against everybody else.
Yeah.
But I think looking at our fielding, our number 1 player is obviously Enrique.
Yeah.
I might put Davis at 2.
Really?
I legitimately think Davis Diaz... I mean, he's batting like 500. Like, it's not his first 2 games anymore. Like, he's batting over 400. Who is the
other guy who's just a defensive specialist?
You're talking about Jonathan Vestine?
Yep, that's him. Vestine.
Vestine hasn't played in a while.
We have youth on our team. Thinking next year. Next year, Vastine's going to be solid. Casas is going to get even more solid.
Next year, our projected starters are obviously Enrique in center. I hope Javi in left, and then somebody in right.
Maybe
Troy.
No, I'm thinking Levin. Brother plays for the Guardians. I got a picture with him.
Oh, TJ McKenzie's gonna transfer.
Really?
There's no way he won't. It would be his first year starting next year.
I would gonna be a junior. I think.
I would not be surprised. I'm surprised he didn't transfer
this year.
Yeah. Because
he didn't see the field at all.
Yeah, and he's good.
He is very good.
He's
just not that guy.
No,
we have so many that are that guy. It's so hard to be like, wow.
It's like the one sport that we can be like, man, we have a wealth of talent everywhere.
Yeah, TJ McKenzie put him on half the teams in the league, and he's going to do really, really well.
Yeah.
On our team, he's not going to see the field.
For instance, Maxwell Romero, who was our backup catcher last year, he's doing really well at Miami.
Yeah.
Like he's hitting really well.
Yep.
He's slugging insanely well.
He's a slug.
He is a slug.
He's like a snail with a shell.
Anyway, we beat all of Hawaii. We had a kind of rough game on Sunday, our 4th game. And then Spencer Jones hit a 2-run homer, and we beat them 2-1. Yep. But other than that, we beat them like 10-2.
Spencer Jones, the Show Em The Dore
alumnus.
Alumnus. I don't know the correct iteration
of the
alumnus. Word. Really?
I'm not joking.
Alumnus?
That's a singular alumni.
The more you know.
And then we beat up on Wagner a bunch. And then Michigan was the best game of the ones. We had Devin Futrell pitching. He had a great first 4 innings. Mm-hmm. And then Christian Little, I think, came in, and he had an okay couple innings. And then Nelson Berkwich, who I even forgot about in our wealth of pitchers, Nelson Berkwich can get you like 3 good innings.
Nelson.
Maybe not 3, maybe like 2.5. 2 2/3, if you will. I don't know. Nelson Berkwich can get you some innings. He can fill some innings.
He's productive.
Yeah, he's insanely productive. I think that we were down 4-2 going into the 9th inning, and then we had runners at the corners with 2 outs, and Tate Kolwick hit a triple, and it got it to be a 4-4 game, and then we won in a very similar way to the Stanford game, where they threw a wild pitch and we won the game. It was a great, it was a great environment, and if we were not at the NIT game, I'm certain we would have been there watching.
Yeah, it would have been incredible.
But we will be at least 2 of the 3 Missouri games this weekend.
Yeah, when's the one on Sunday?
1.
So we can go to a little bit of that before the 2 o'clock game? Like maybe like 15 minutes.
We'll have to see.
Yeah, we'll see. It's a game time.
Yeah, we'll definitely be going to the game on Friday, though. So
yes.
Tomorrow we will be at the Missouri game watching Chris McIlvaine pitch. And then depending on what happens Saturday, I'd also like to go to that game because I want to see Carter Holton pitch because he's so good.
Yeah.
I think we'll definitely be able to go to at least some of the Saturday games.
Yeah. What are you doing Saturday?
We'll talk about it after. Okay. But Yeah, I think that's pretty much all of baseball.
Never mind.
One more thing in baseball is we have been in the midweek game. Javier didn't start.
I saw that.
I think it's just getting people experience in midweek games because we want to have a wealth of talent if anybody happens to go down. But I haven't seen where Javi got hurt.
No.
So I don't think he did.
I can't imagine.
But he came in and pinch hit.
Yeah.
And so I don't know.
It's just like divvying up experience.
Yeah, but the thing is with Javi, like he's been hitting really well, and I don't want to take him off his hot streak going into SEC play.
Yeah, it'd suck.
And so
I'd rather Spencer sit probably.
Oh, I don't want any
impact on that game.
I don't want any of them.
That's the issue. It's a struggle with these big teams.
I'm okay with none of them sitting.
Yeah, literally.
Like,
but I want to have these guys out on the field. Like, what did he sit for Gavin?
No, he sat for Matthew Polk.
Matthew?
Yes.
He did okay.
I mean, he's our backup
center outfield.
Who's our backup center fielder?
What's his name? 11.
No, Diaz is not our backup center fielder.
Kid you think is going to transfer?
And TJ is not our backup center fielder either.
I'm almost certain he is.
No, he's not. I've watched all the games.
That's true.
It's he's our backup right fielder.
Really?
It's oh gosh.
And it's not Gavin.
No, it's I don't remember. We'll talk about it next episode. But that's pretty much all of baseball. Missouri, I think Missouri's a kind of dreadful team. That's not true, but they're not great. I think we'll easily sweep them this weekend. I think our first 2 games will be pretty simple. And then hopefully the last game is good. It really depends. Willem is going to walk up to the camera for a second. We don't mean to have this slight break, but if we did, it's going to be mad awkward.
It's recording.
Okay. So we just got a text.
We look like amateurs, man.
We just got a text from our technical producer. Nobody's going to
amateur hour, Ardelan.
Nobody's going to... People don't get this far very often in our videos. But... we just got a text from our technical producer saying, "Hey, I don't know if I hit the record button."
I can't believe this.
So, we are now we've been officially recording, thank God. Or else we would have had to restart this.
Mashallah.
But with that being said, I think that's all of baseball. So Willem's going to tell you about basketball.
Okay, yeah. So, basketball. We left off just before
the SEC
the
tournament.
dawn of the SEC tournament.
Yes. Set the scene.
It is
February.
I don't know what day it is, but it's
Is it February at that point?
I don't know, man. You think I know months? So it was the SEC tournament, right?
Yeah.
We ended up not winning quite enough to get the single bye. So we had to play the very first game.
Against Georgia.
It was against Georgia, and that was one heck of a game.
We beat the heck out of them.
Georgia's not great, and we got anything we wanted to go.
We
did whatever we wanted to, offensively, defensively. They just sucked. We really killed them. Georgia's had like one of their worst seasons ever.
Yeah.
They just fired their coach.
They fired their coach before the game.
Yeah. That's tough.
Yeah, like they were not playing for anything.
Nope, they were sitting down. Except for Aaron Cook,
which is why I like Iowa State over LSU in the March Madness.
Yep, because they don't have a coach, they have nothing to play for. So we killed them. So we're riding that hot hand, a little bit of momentum, and then we play Alabama, who I think is the most beatable team in college basketball. in the same hand, though, they can beat anyone.
Yeah.
I think there's not a team Alabama can't beat. There's not a team Alabama can't lose to.
Yep.
Right. So, interesting come bracket time, which is already too late. But if you we should have a bracket challenge next year. That's Show Em The Dore bracket challenge.
The Show Em The Dore bracket challenge?
Yes. If you would do that.
You have to pick Vandy to win.
Yeah. No.
Vandy's going to be a tournament
There's going to be an award, and the award is going to be you get a picture with Chris and I. And a solid high five.
What if we win?
Then we high five each other.
Okay. We pick the closest winner.
Yeah. So yeah. Alabama coming into the game. I can't quite remember the beginning early because
we were down.
We were down 15 at the half.
Yeah, we were just losing early.
We were kind of getting killed. They had some good play by Quinterly.
Javon.
Oh, yeah, he's really good.
Javon Quinterly is that
They had a really good play from this kid off the bench. I can't remember his name.
What do you look like?
Long hair. Dyed blonde. He's a guard. He's like maybe 6'2".
I don't know.
Drives a lot. But this kid came off the bench for them, and he's killing us. We're down 15. The commentators are like, last year.
Sucks.
No, they're like, last year Javon Quinterly won SEC tournament
MVP.
MOP, most outstanding player of the tournament, off the bench. This guy could do it too, and it looks like he will the way he's playing tonight. And I'm like, geez, the commentator's already throwing in the towel for us. And then we start winning. We start really getting back second half.
Jordan Wright.
Jordan Wright's that guy. Oh my gosh.
Scotty didn't have a good game.
Here's the issue. Scotty Pippin Jr. is our focal point. He's our point of attack, and he is really the only bit of recognizable big talent
that we have
for, our whole team. And so that guy was on the ground. Did you see that?
Willem.
I'm sorry. So Scotty Pippin, sure, we've been saying go to him all season, but he's started really being on a cold streak, and he shot, I think, 5 of 17 that game.
He shot poorly. He had 23 points, but they were all from
he had 27 points because he shot 27 free throws and made 20 of them. He made 20 free throws that game. It was the crazy. It's like James Harden. I couldn't believe his play, right? Yeah. So thanks to his 27 points, along with Jordan, Miles shooting incredibly.
Miles is that guy right now.
Simply, yes. Tyron came in and put in some quality minutes, which I didn't expect of him. I'm not going to lie, because he got out of the rotation for so long. Now it's just over. So it was just a good second half for us. Objectively, we just played really well. Yeah. Sure, Scotty missed a bunch of shots, but he shot a bunch of free throws and did really well.
And we won.
We beat Alabama. And that's a big deal. Alabama beat Gonzaga, the number 1 team.
Meaning Vanderbilt is better than Gonzaga.
By the transitive property. Gonzaga loses to Alabama. Alabama loses to Vanderbilt. Thus, Vanderbilt is better than Gonzaga, who is the top seed and is playing literally right in front of us. I'm watching the game right now. I'm sorry.
He's distracted.
I'm a big fan. Great game. It was so good. Was
nice.
That the game where I called you at halftime? And I was like, this is insane.
We were talking for a lot of that game. I don't know, because we were either texting or calling for a majority of the game.
Yeah, it was the first half we texted a lot, called at halftime. Halftime, I was like, we're not getting any calls. This is insane. Oh, it was, if you were at the Vanderbilt LSU game, right? You saw for a good 4 minutes there the absolute horrifying performance of us and terrible, terrible officiating for a couple minutes. It was terrible. The entire first half of the Alabama game rivaled that. I've never seen in my entire life of watching college basketball, especially Gonzaga, because they don't get calls. I've never seen in my life the sheer whistle bias that Alabama got that game. It was appalling. I was actually disappointed in the game of basketball. I legitimately was. I'm like, I don't like the sport anymore because it ruins it. You know what I mean? It's it's disheartening is what it is. And I'm like, this just sucks. Apparently, Jerry Stackhouse said something really good at halftime, made some wonderful adjustments, and we won.
Stacky J.
So I think that was the big thing where he proved himself with second half adjustments because he's that guy.
Yeah.
Nate Oates tried to do his little thing. Nate Oates is a pretty good coach, but
he's not.
He just really got out-coached, outplayed, outperformed, and we took care of business. Outmaneuvered, outsmarted.
Mm-hmm.
Care to assist here, Chris?
No, I'm okay.
Okay.
But
it was incredible. And then we move on, right?
Oh, who next? I'm still mad at this game.
Who's next? Who do we have next, right? How about one of the biggest teams in college basketball, the University of Kentucky, whom I have a lot of friends that like them. We're enemies. that Kentucky got that double bye, so they were waiting for us. We're going into the Kentucky game, and I'm thinking we're one of the hottest teams in college basketball. Like, that's the truth. I can't think of many teams that went on a run that we did. We took care of business at Georgia. That's a confidence boost. And it was like a 25-point swing against Alabama, who's a great team.
Yeah, we missed
who's
a lot
either
of
going to
free
win the
throws at
tournament
end.
or lose first round. No in between. So we're hot. Kentucky, I think, is beatable. They lost games to Tennessee.
Terrible team.
Well, I don't know. They've lost games in ways where it's like, wow, Tennessee really took care of business. Vanderbilt, with the hot hand, may have a chance. I wasn't too confident, really.
No,
we get into the game. I'm thinking this might be a grueling loss, and my whole family is watching. We're all in the living room watching TV, watching this game, and I'm like, they're all gonna watch my school get slaughtered. This is not gonna be good against the school that I considered going to. So we start the game and we're winning.
Yeah,
we're winning. It was like 6-7, 9-8, 12-10.
We're keeping
winning. I'm like, not only are we keeping up, we're winning.
Yeah, we're like on the.
We're on the upper part of keeping up. They're keeping up with us is the thing. I've never seen that in Vanderbilt basketball, right?
No.
So I was beside myself. Okay.
Yeah.
So
I was driving, and you're like, "Oh, we're winning." Can you believe it?
I can't think of any better way to describe this to you
than through the messages with me.
I considered posting these on Instagram.
You did?
Yeah. So.
He also called me like 4 times.
Yeah. Well, I only called you twice. So, is this before or after? Yeah, it was. Okay, so, these are just some things from within the What's It Called game. Shane Dezzoni did really well.
Shane Dezzoni's a good player.
Shane Dezzoni's the next Jordan Wright. We're putting it in right now. Rodney Chapman is incredible. You said Rod. I said Rodney. You said Rodney Elizabeth Chapman. I said Rodney Bartholomew Abadeus Emily Chapman. Rodney Windy Morning Dew Chapman. Yeah, we just played really well. So where is it? We texted a lot this day. Okay, so I said, are you watching the game? We're winning. Dude, no longer winning. Chris, it's very close. You'd better be dying or something if you're missing this. You said, Willem, I hear you. I was driving. I said, no excuse. Did you see the commercial for huge goldfish? So that's how our conversations
go 99% of the time.
Yeah, legitimately, I'm like, are you seeing this? And then
I'm
goldfish.
Like, yeah. But
okay, so I have 2 major points to make here. One of them I'm going to make very quickly right now. Have you seen the big goldfish? Guys at home? You guys watching at home, if you did not see the commercial, look it up right now. It's goldfish, but they're massive. And it's revolutionary. I talked to my dad about this at halftime. Because we were like, it's exactly what snacks need right now. Like, it's like...
More snacks?
Yeah, it's just bigger. Cheez-Its doing the same thing. Did you see that commercial?
Yes.
They're just big Cheez-Its.
Yeah.
It's genius, because what do I like more than goldfish?
Bigger goldfish.
So many more goldfish. And I can eat so much more goldfish per
goldfish.
Goldfish. Right?
The insane amount of goldfish per goldfish.
Oh my gosh, it's positively nutty. Right? So that's one point. If you haven't seen it, look it up. I'm going to try to get some eventually. The second major point is the roller coaster that we went on that game. Because we were winning and it was good, and then it wasn't. And it
wasn't
kind
even
of
our
fell
fault.
out, and we kept it kind of close to the half, I want to say.
Well, we only lost by 3 points.
Yeah, it was close at the half, and then the second half is when things started hitting the fan.
Is when
where we got robbed in ways that
we got robbed. Yeah, I've never felt so personally attacked by referees.
They're like, this one right there is for the 2 ugly dudes that do Show Em The Dore.
We lost by 6 actually. And
yeah.
If you don't mind, I'm gonna explain a sequence that I
don't think I can. So do it, please.
Okay, so picture this.
Imagine, if you will.
We airball a shot because we're terrible, and there's 2 seconds left on the shot clock, but we get the offensive board. throw it to Rodney. And Rodney pump fakes, maybe there was like 4 seconds because he has enough time to pump fake. He pump fakes, the guy jumps, and he does like the James Harden thing that like I don't love in basketball, but is a rule where you jump into the guy and then shoot to get 3 free throws.
Yep.
And they don't call a foul, which is like bad enough as it is. But then the shot clock runs out, the refs whistle. And even
through this whistle,
Kentucky goes on a fast break and scores. And even if the shot clock thing didn't run out and they got the ball, if you whistle, the rule is the play's dead, they get the ball. So they score there. That's 3 free throws we could have made from an 80% free throw shooter that is Rodney Chapman. That's a 5-point swing. And because Stackhouse was arguing like why did he not get a foul call on Rodney Chapman because it was the most obvious call there's ever been, the ref backpedaled into him. And then they teed up Stackhouse for making contact with the ref. They made one of those shots, which is already the 6-point swing that we needed to win the game, to at least tie the game. That is the sequence that I have never been more mad at the game of basketball at.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
So to reiterate, to just let it sink in one more time, right? He goes up. He pump fakes. He's in the air. Come, Chris, get in the air to me. And and I try to get it, right? One,
it was a
they
terrible
didn't call
shot.
the foul. Here's error number 1. Error count, Chris. 1. No foul for Rodney Chapman. Error count 2. They said that he didn't make any well, that's not an error. The Kentucky player didn't make any contact. Thus, at the end of the shot clock,
the shot clock should
have gone off. That's not an error.
The
shot clock did go off.
Oh, you're right.
However, they whistled. Not an error. They played through the whistle.
Is that error 3?
That's error 2, right?
Okay.
Because so far it's good till now, you know?
They played through the whistle.
They played through the whistle. They take the ball. No one stops them. Error 3. Referees don't stop him. He goes up. They get it to go. That's not an error, but it's caused by errors before.
It's caused by error
Jerry
2 and 3.
Stackhouse, rightfully so, is not happy.
Is livid.
So he is on the sideline like this, arguing to the ref. The ref backs into him. Stack gets automatically teed up for contact with the referee.
That's error 4.
That's 4. They then miss a free throw, make it. So 4 errors cause the 6-point swing, at least.
In a 15-second span.
In a 15-second span, in a 6-point game. I'm not Joe Lunardi or Gene...
Steratore from
Gene
the NFL?
No. There's a guy in the NBA. The rules analyst, his name is like Gene something. Well, they call him all the time. And it's like, let's see Gene with the
I only know Gene Steratore, who's the rules guy from the NFL.
I need to look up Gene.
Okay, while you're doing that, there's one other sequence that
it was
made
right
me
after
mad.
this.
No, it wasn't.
Oh, really?
I don't know what one you're talking about. I'm talking about the out of bounds. So then at the end
that was it. That's it.
Yeah, that happened with like 7 minutes left in the game. Which, like, it made me mad, but I'm like,
it's the same guy.
Oh, really?
He does NFL and March Madness. That's so funny.
That's crazy. Man knows everything about every sport.
He just is the official.
But, so, there's like 30 seconds left in the game. And
real close.
And we're down, like, 4, right? I don't know. We're down to a point where, like, we're still very much in the game.
Yep.
And somebody shoots the ball. I think it was the really small, baby-looking point guard on Kentucky. Who am I thinking of? The guy who looks like... Oh, wait, is it Severe Wheeler?
Severe Wheeler, I think.
Who was the guy that looks like Severe Wheeler on Auburn?
You mean that little kid?
They're both really small with the big chubby face.
Yeah, I don't remember his name, but...
Which one is Severe Wheeler and which one is the other
Kentucky.
one? Okay, Severe Wheeler shot the ball, completely airballed the ball.
Mm.
And then it bounces out of bounds, and the other top end, not Obi, but Jacob?
Yep.
Jacob top end goes to get the ball to throw it back inbounds to try to save the play. And he is very clearly stepping on the line. Like, he's not even stepping on the line. He's entirely out of bounds, throwing the ball in. and then it's off of Q, who then runs for the ball and tries to get it before, like, re-save it, and then he doesn't, right? And then they're like, oh, we're going to review the play. And everybody sees this still frame of Jacob Toppin standing entirely out of bounds, throwing the ball in, and we don't get the call.
Yeah, one thing that I really disliked this, the way that, this played out is the referees, or not the referees, the commentators, because they give no credit to Vanderbilt, and they only talk about Kentucky.
Yeah.
It was like a 2-point game, and we're coming back, and then Kentucky makes a shot, and it looks like Kentucky is on the edge of making this one a blowout. And I'm like, it's a 4-point game? What are you talking about?
Yeah, it's just...
And they just say stupid things. And besides all that, even though they're so heavily biased towards Kentucky, they stopped the still frame. Jacob Toppin's left foot is out of bounds. His left hand is on the ball. They're like, okay, and Vanderbilt got a great defensive play there. They'll get the ball back with a chance to win this game. And I'm like,
easy.
That's leaps and bounds better than this whole game's commentating.
Yeah.
And then they were shocked. You could tell they were really surprised. They didn't even know that Kentucky had the ball until they gave the Kentucky player the ball out of bounds to throw in. They were like, oh, and it looks like actually they gave it to Kentucky. Because here's a rule that Chris and I talked about, like right after the game. The rule is in college basketball and the NBA, if the referees stop play to look at an action, they cannot look at anything else in the entire sequence of the play. So they stopped play to review the action of Quentin Melora Brown throwing the ball back in bounds. They were going to see, was his foot on the line when he threw it in bounds. What they found in that sequence was Jacob Toppin firmly out of bounds. The referee saw it. I know the referee saw it. They showed that the referee saw it. Referees see it legally in the game of basketball. You cannot talk about that because you're only reviewing Quentin. Doesn't matter what happened the entire play, entire game. You're just reviewing that. You can't talk about this. And it's, I think, one of the greatest issues in the sport of basketball. It's the same thing that happened in the Final Four, Auburn versus...
yeah, we talked about that. I don't know.
It's Virginia. Wow. Virginia double dribbled, and they found it while they were looking to see if Kyle Guy got fouled. Kyle Guy. And Kyle Guy did get fouled, but they're like, oh, but there was a double dribble before that, but we can't legally call that. I remember back in 2017, Golden State and Cleveland played, and Golden State ended up winning the game. It was pretty narrow. And then after the game, the NBA released a statement that they found 26 missed calls in that game. They rewatched the game, and there were 26 mistakes the referees made. And they can't say anything about that. There's no retribution.
There's no regulatory body that goes on referees.
Yeah. Referees are...
They're allowed to be bad.
They're largely unmanaged, what am I trying to think of? They have no power above them. They do whatever they want. They're unregulated. This year we've seen a lot in the NBA. NBA referees giving out technicals far more liberally than regular years. Joe Few was entering the game. I'm going to cry. And that's just... referees in the past 2 years, especially since the bubble in the NBA, since COVID has started, referees have been exponentially
abysmal.
Yeah, declining in their.
The thing is what they referees are not a full-time job.
Yeah,
which they should be. They should make referees a full-time job.
Yeah,
whether it is working together to enhance the regulatory bodies of, like, the regulations of the game in terms of how they're going to enforce. They need to have rule-making sessions where this is the stated rule, here's how we're going to enforce it.
They do that sometimes every couple years. They call one meeting to talk about one rule that they've seen as being rampant. They did that with charging fouls a couple years ago.
Okay, but I'm just saying, refs need to not be like rent-a-refs. It doesn't need to be for a season.
Do you know what they call that within research, like experimenters? That's called inter-rater bias. I learned about this because I'm IRB certified.
I am also IRB certified.
Welcome to Show Em The Dore, the only podcast where we're both International Review Board certified.
Yes.
So that's cool. But inter-rater bias is where it varies from the person that scores it to the person that scores it. Yeah. So if we have, a subset of like 6 referees that are going to not get that call as opposed to like the rest of the 100, that's an issue.
Yeah.
And the thing is, it's not 6 getting it wrong to 100 getting it right. It's the vast majority of referees doing a terrible job. They actually rate. There's a Ken Palm type thing for referees, and they all suck. Like, there are very few that have good ratings.
Yeah, it's just who's the best.
Who's the best of the terrible guys?
Okay, so like for instance, this is an NFL thing, right? Mm-hmm. But each NFL crew is known for calling specific penalties, and teams will literally coach, hey, you got to be careful on this penalty, where you can be a little bit more liberal with this different crew.
Yeah, that's
based. It's like it's part of the game, and it shouldn't be because they're just supposed to enforce the rules. But
yeah, it's not enforce your section of the rules.
Yeah,
it's as if you go to court, right?
Yeah,
and the judge is like, well, I mean, sure, the ticket said you were going 55, but if you're speeding, like, at all, I'm giving you, like, the heaviest of penalties.
The thing is missed calls are part of the game, and I don't want, like, computer systems that will get every single call right.
That's a part of basketball is getting calls wrong, but there's a line. There's a line between, that's a part of competition. That's a part, humans aren't perfect, and I believe that humans will never achieve perfection.
I think that's part of sports.
That's a part of sports. That's a part of life.
But when you have things like in the Super Bowl, when Jalen Ramsey got his face mask tugged, and then the Bengals got a free touchdown, I mean, that's a game-changing play. Like, there are game-changing plays that need to be right.
And there were at least 2 of those in the Kentucky game. I could name a lot more if I went and look back at the tape. But it was just a horrible showing from referees.
We were upset.
100% believe that Vanderbilt deserved to beat the Kentucky Wildcats that game. And
100%.
It was the sole contribution of the referees to give Kentucky the win. And if I was in charge of Vanderbilt athletics, I would put out a statement with that in it. Because the referees need to be held accountable. And they aren't. No one said a thing.
Scotty had a terrible game, too.
Yeah, Scotty went 2 of 15.
And had
that just makes sense.
But Jordan was going crazy. Jordan Wright has been insane the past few games.
Jordan Wright's nuts. He's going on a tear. I'm afraid of him.
But
he's on a rampage.
We thought we might be a bubble team after that.
Yeah.
Especially if we beat Kentucky, I thought we would have been closer to the bubble.
Oh, yeah. I still feel like we deserve to be in the tournament, but the committee disagreed with us. And if Chris and I had votes, we would have voted us in.
Yes.
However, we haven't gotten our votes yet.
We sent them a letter.
We've been speaking to different committees. We got a lot of phone calls. Mr. Basketball himself.
Yeah, Mr. Ball.
Mr. NCAA.
First name Basket.
Yeah, Mr. Ball, can I call you Basket?
But
he said no.
However, they did, we kind of met in the middle, and we secured Vanderbilt an NIT bid.
We sat down at the table with Mr. Basketball.
And we were like, put us as a 1 seed. And they're like, best we can do is an NIT 4. And we're like, we'll take it.
Will we take that? And he's like, well...
we're
it was like Shark Tank. We go before the committee.
Only if we
Kevin O'Leary's like, I'm out. And then we're like, how about an NIT bid? And he's like, only if I get what did he say? Only if I get a...
10% stake in the
10%.
No, but it was like...
No, Kevin always wants the royalties. Only if I get a royalty.
I haven't watched Shark Tank in forever.
Shark Tank's a good show.
Okay, but it's like...
We endorse
We were like, we get an NIT 4... We can get an NIT 1 seed. And they're like, the best we can do is a 4 seed. I said, make it in the Dayton area.
Yep,
so we play at Memorial. And they're like, done. And so...
Because so the art of the deal.
Yeah, was something that I have perfected. Thanks to the amazing book I read. By the same title. That was certainly written by the person who wrote it.
Page Turner.
Yeah. Jesus Christ.
So, I apologize, folks. This is the content you subscribe for, and if you don't like this,
how political are we going?
We're not gonna get political in this podcast, Christopher.
TikTok is so funny.
I'm so glad
I'm gonna give a brief description of the TikTok.
So last night, Chris and I found this TikTok.
More like Willem found the TikTok and showed me, but it was like it's like a Muppet Donald Trump, and they're talking about some India crisis about like a certain area.
Who gets this mountain in the Himalayas with a bunch of, I assume, oil or gold or something.
And he was like, dumb it down for me. And the guy was like, imagine there's a really big hamburger. And he goes, how big? They're like 50
square miles.
50,000 square miles. And he goes, Jesus Christ.
It was so good.
It was just great. With that being said, we played Belmont in the NIT.
We hosted a tournament game, which is one of the greatest things Vanderbilt has done in like 10 years.
Right.
So it was against our crosstown rival Belmont. So, they had to travel a long ways to get down to our
large
stadium.
0.3 miles.
They had to just cross 21st and they're here. Did we just get the same notification?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, 1% of brackets are perfect.
Dumb.
1%.
It's
not
me.
us.
It's
neither of us. We're fools. So we hosted Belmont, and my father and my little brothers came because my dad's birthday is on Sunday. So my mom's like, "Oh, it'll be cool if they come see this game because now they're invested."
Is this pertinent?
Yes. I bring my family to this game.
We start by losing,
and we're down 24-12 against Belmont,
and
I'm like,
"Well,
you come to me." The day that I bring my parents, and you lose 24-12.
I'm gonna make him an offer that can't refuse.
So I made him an offer that he can't refuse. Right. And I said, Jerry, if you don't win this game, we talked to Mr. Basketball.
We went to basket again.
So we went on a big run after that, thanks to my dad went from a casual viewer to like bent over looking like this, and I feel like that's what changed the game. Yeah. My dad got into the zone of watching basketball.
Your dad's like the average white dad. He's like,
he's like, He raises his hands, complains about the call, and he's like over the seat. And I feel like that kind of fanship is what we need. We need more fans like my dad because it's what basketball is all about. It's what basketball is all about. It's white dads watching the game.
Yeah.
And
specifically white.
Yes. But white dads react to the game of basketball like no one else.
Yeah, that's true. White dads would be on the court.
I felt like a white father watching the Kentucky game, Alabama game actually, because I would go like this and I'd like do this, and I threw my hat on the ground during the game, and I was like, "That's the whitest thing I've ever done." We're now getting racial. We first went political. We're now
racial.
entering race debates.
But we beat Belmont.
We won. We went on a big run. We ended up winning by what? 9, 10?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, I remember. It was a great game.
Let's go to 12.
Yeah.
I thought it was 84-72.
You're right. Correct. 1 point to Chris. For those of you playing along at home, mark your scorecards. So.
I take one dub today.
Yeah, true. So, it was pretty darn good. And so we secured a second game. And the second game was either against Dayton or whoever Dayton played.
A bad team.
Whoever Dayton played.
It was like Southeast Missouri State.
It was against your mom. It was against your mom.
It was the
not your mom.
Home school of Utah.
Yeah, literally. So, if Dayton lost, we would have had higher seeds, so we would have played it at home. Dayton, however, won. But
so we still play it at home.
Dayton hosts the NCAA March Madness tournament every single year. I don't know why, but they do it every year. And so, they have to come here.
Yeah.
So we got a second home game in the postseason.
Mm-hmm.
So this Sunday, at 2 p.m.,
Yep.
we're playing Dayton, who is a marginally okay team. I think we have more talent, but you know how Vanderbilt goes. It's a whiteout game, so we're white.
It is?
Yeah.
It is. I saw that, actually.
Yep. Please come to this game.
It's going to be fun.
It's going to be great. It's going to be such a big game.
Leave some seats in the home side.
Yeah, for us. Because my mom's coming to this game, my dad's coming to this game. Anthony and Luke are coming to this game, so we have the whole
crew.
Yeah. So yeah, it's gonna be a great game, and I'm excited. And if we have our official predictions right now, what do you say?
Of course, I'm gonna take Vandy.
What's the score?
I don't know anything about Dayton, so I'm gonna say if we win, it's gonna be about 77-68.
77-68. Chris. Okay. My official score prediction for the Dayton Vanderbilt game this Sunday is I'm thinking.
Yeah, you sure?
I'm gonna say it's gonna be 70.
Price is right. Means 76,
76, 69. No. I'm actually going to say 72 to 68. So I'm gonna meet you at 68.
Okay.
I assume we're gonna win by a smaller margin. So those are our official predictions. I'll ask other people. Maybe I'll make a poll. Maybe I'll ask people.
Maybe you'll ask Miles.
Hey, yo, Miles. I'm gonna try to.
Y'all winning this week?
I've ran into so many athletes recently.
Yeah.
Because I text Anthony every time I run into one. I'm like, oh, I passed this guy, and Anthony's like, really? And it like blows his mind. It's really cool. Because I saw Liam, who's been playing really well.
We saw Jack Leiter at one point, and I was so shocked because I was like, I know that sharp jawline anywhere.
You're like, that looks like every other white guy. I know.
Are you kidding me? Jack is gorgeous.
He looks like most of the white dudes, though.
But his jawline is sharp.
That's very true.
Do you remember we were at the game last year, and I was like, that's Jack in the white pullover, and you were like, no, that's
like,
not.
How do you know? And you're like, look at his jaw, and I'm like, good grief, he is.
And then he took it off, and it was him. I'm telling you, I know Jack by his jawline.
How big? 2000.
Jesus Christ. But,
yeah.
That's all the games that we've had.
False. Yeah, that is all the games we've had. But tonight, at like 7, like we said, by the time you're listening, it's probably going to be over.
2 hours.
In an hour and
8 minutes.
8 minutes. The women's basketball team also secured a berth into the women's NIT, which is super cool. Who do they play? They play Murray State. Murray. Do you know how many friends I have that go to Murray?
3.
2. It used to be 3, but Callie transferred to Eastern Kentucky. I don't know why. She was also in Nashville last week and didn't tell me because she's a fake
The one that came that one time?
No, that's Carla. Okay. Callie. Just didn't tell me. So Callie, if you're watching, you're a fake friend, but you're real for watching my podcast. So, we're playing Murray. I don't think Murray is good.
Yeah, I don't watch women's basketball,
we're not an
though.
exceptional team, so it'll be a good game.
Yeah.
Hopefully, we'll get some cheese minutes.
We'll
get some quality minutes from...
Patent pending cheese minutes. Cheese minutes. Anyway.
Hello, U.S. Trademark Company.
We're going to take home 2 NIT championships.
Here are going to be the keys to the game. Ayanna Moore and Jordan Cambridge. I think Brene Alexander...
I would put Sasha in there.
That's true. Sasha was at the... what's it called game?
Yeah,
she was on the
24K
mic.
Golden.
She said, anchor down. And that was it. And I was like, enough said. She's spitting. She's just like me, for real. So I think my keys to the game will be Ayanna Moore in 20-plus points and Jordan Cambridge
5+ steals.
Double-digit assists and 2 steals.
2? I'm going to put it at 4.
Really?
This is predictions. I think she's going to have 5 or 6.
Really?
Yeah. Jordan Cambridge is just that.
Any input on any other particular player? Jordan Cambridge is incredible.
Yeah.
We're going to try to get her on the podcast. She's our number 1 target right now.
Yeah. Well, in terms of
the free agent market,
basketball, yeah. We'll see. Not the point.
We'll see.
Well, do we have anything else to talk about?
Happy
St. Patrick's Day.
Happy annual Gonzaga won day. For those who celebrate, Gonzaga won again in the March Madness tournament. So for those of you who celebrate, I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. One of the best performances in the tourney ever, Anthony says. 32 points, 13 rebounds.
Well, we're not like we're on a Gonzaga podcast.
We aren't, but if we were, we would get Drew.
True.
And Chet, and we'd look small. But
do.
So I've been looking at our metrics a lot recently, and you guys really prefer when we have athletes on here. Which, you know, I'm not going to take that personally, saying you don't like me.
I mean, like, Willem's cried for about a few days, but we get it.
Yeah, I've worked that out with my therapist, and we're past that.
We're gonna be trying to get
we have a list. I think I have 4 people in mind.
I have
3.
I know of 3 people. Though.
Yeah, I think we got a list of 3 that we're going to really talk to heavily, and then after the.
I kind of want to get Jonathan Bastine on because I feel like he wouldn't be a hard time.
I have a friend who's in a class with him, so we could work on match. Ethan Lilly.
Try to get. I would love. I would DM him like
that too.
Like I think that he's not. Like he's not starting.
He's not He's not a high radar guy.
But I like him. I think he's a good player.
I think he's gonna be great. He's one of the best defensive players we have.
Yeah.
He's made incredible plays that make me cry.
Yeah.
I've sobbed. But also happy birthday to Ryan Perkins. Do you have anything else to say?
No.
This is a little bit of a sloppier episode. We've been away for a long time.
We have a lot to talk about.
So we had a lot to say, and I hope you enjoy it. Because do you really come here for great sports content? No, you come here for straight facts and Chris and I.
True.
And more so me than Chris, because I'm the main draw.
It's like a 70-30, but that's okay.
It's a 70-30 split. All major publications have me winning in the polls.
But I do have the 30% of both of our sets of parents.
What do you mean by that?
Like they
my parents watch for you?
Yeah.
My parents don't watch is the issue.
But if they do.
But if
they
do,
watch for me.
They do. It's true. Yeah.
Anyway,
I was gonna make a joke, but I'm tired.
Yeah, this has been a fun week. We'll have another week, maybe a more regular episode, depending on if we can get an athlete or not next week. We'll give you guys updates on the Instagram,
of course.
Though that being said, this has been Show Em The Dore.
It has truly,
even if it's been a little bit messy, and we'll see.
I think that's in true Show Em The Dore fashion.
I think that is in true Show Em The Dore fashion.
Yeah, anchor down. Go to the games.
I'll go to all the games.
All of them, please.
And we will see you all next week.
We love you.